Voting during a pandemic, more voters are asking for absentee or mail-in ballots. And can the post office handle it with the recent cutbacks and protests? Yes, there were changes today to the Postal Service to help. Will it be enough? Bottom line, how do you get your vote counted? Guilford County Board of Elections Director Charlie Collicutt is with us to answer your questions until 5:45 this afternoon. What we want you to do is text your questions to 336-379-5775. Remember, only text these questions. You cannot call them in. All right, Charlie, let's start off with this one. People want to know, how do I know that my mail-in ballot that I either drop off somewhere or my absentee ballot that I send through the mail is going to be secure?
Right, that's a great question. When you drop a ballot off or when you mail a ballot in, it comes directly to our staff where we log this information. We make sure that it's your ballot, that we're not getting ballots from some people that didn't request ballots or may have tried to print a ballot off. That ballot gets secured. It is secured in a vault. The only time it ever comes out is in the presence of the Board of Elections during an open meeting. The only time it's ever opened is during the presence of the Board of Elections in an open meeting and tabulated that way. So these ballots are never dealt with, they're never open, processed behind closed doors. It is always open in a transparent way.
And if we drop off the ballot, I want to make sure that nobody misses this, they are going to be manned boxes.
That's right. We're not going to have ballot boxes all over the place. We may get questions on that, but if you drop it off at the Board of Elections office or you drop it off at a early voting site, it is going to be a no contact type of transaction where you will drop it off and that ballot will be secured.
All right, and we want to make sure that everybody knows you can drop your ballot off in person at the early voting sites, but you cannot drop it off on election day at the polling sites. Is that correct?
That's correct, and it's a great distinction. So the ways to get an absentee ballot back to us is to mail it using the mail, to hand deliver it to the Board of Elections office, or to drop it off at an early voting site. And like you said, not at an election day site, only during early voting.
All right, so flip-flop now. Let's answer the question of how do we know that we're going to be safe and secure when we go to in-person voting at either early voting or on election day? What kind of safety measures are going to be put in place?
Right. Well, first, what we're doing is we're having this huge push for absentee by mail balloting. So any voter that doesn't want to go to the polls can certainly do this. We're going to get a lot. We're seeing historic numbers as far as the number of requests for ballots are concerned. So hopefully that's one mitigating factor when you get to the polls, that there won't be quite as many people as maybe traditionally you've seen when you vote in person, which that'll allow us to do more social distancing. We're using a lot of early voting sites, more hours than we've ever used before, almost double the hours we've used before, with more opportunities, using larger rooms like gyms. Hopefully we can promote social distancing that way. But additionally, we're going to have hand sanitizer. We're going to be using masks, screens, acrylic face masks, gloves. We're going to be sanitizing surfaces that voters touch after voters have touched them through the process, providing hand sanitizer, providing single-use pens. So those kind of protections that we can offer from a personal protective equipment point of view and from a cleaning point of view, and along with social distancing and hopefully having a lot of opportunities so the voters can spread a little bit thinner and not have huge concentrations when we go to vote.
Someone is asking, how can I follow up to make sure that my vote was counted or my ballot was received?
Right, so that's a great point. There's a couple ways to do this. So the number one way to know whether your ballot was counted or not is you can go to our website or the State Board of Elections website. You can pull your own information up and it will tell you the status of that ballot. But additionally, the State Board is working on a process now where with an app you can track to see where your ballot is in the process through the mail or if it's been received by the Board of Elections. So those are the two main ways.
All right, so that app is going to be up and running for us for this election year.
I hope so.
Okay, I hope so too. Okay, someone is asking, if I use early voting, am I required to request an absentee ballot to do this, or is everything taken care of at the early voting site?
It's all taken care of when you go to vote early. You just walk in and go, and when you present to vote, the staff there will have all the documentation ready for you to vote early.
This next question is, are mail-in and absentee ballots available now? And if not, when can I get one?
The ballots are not available yet. You can request now. We will begin mailing ballots out in early September. We have to get through the presidential conventions and make sure everything is official, and then get the ballots printed up in the large quantities and then sent out. But that'll be in early September.
That's right. North Carolina, the first state to be able to send out those absentee ballots. That's happening September the 4th. Okay, we're going to continue to take your questions. You can text them to us right there, 336-379-5775. Charlie's back with us for one more segment. We'll be back in just a few moments.